Hey guys, this is Paige, and welcome to another episode of Records Near Me. Now, this episode is going to be a little bit different than some of the others, and that is because it was recorded almost 2 years ago. Yeah, that's right. I thought this episode was gone forever. My computer died. I thought it was lost, but somehow I've managed to recover it, so that is what you are about to hear. Now, this episode is featuring Comeback Vinyl, which is a record store in downtown Alpharetta, Georgia, and their biggest focus is modernizing the record store experience, and that they are doing. I'd like to give a special thank you to Sean, who I interviewed for this, like I said, 2 years ago. He has been gracious enough to allow me to use the content for this episode, and he even listened to it again for me before I released it, which is more than I could have ever asked. So thank you, Sean, and thank you, Comeback Vinyl, for being such an awesome record store and taking the time to be a part of my podcast. So, let's hear this long-lost episode. But first, the theme song. This time performed by the Asymptomatics, one of my favorite bands out of Athens. Speaking of which, they just put out a brand new album called Celestial Events and Other Songs About Looking Up, and you guys should all check it out. Let's get into it.
Records near me, let's go and see what lies behind a record store's mind. If you're lost, get found, take in the sound. It's a place to go when you're feeling low. So if you don't mind, we'll share what we find. I'll make a podcast so all this will last. If you're lost, get found, take in the sound. It's a place to go. So let's start the show. Let's go.
Hey guys, this is season 2 of Records Near Me. Today I'm in Alpharetta, Georgia at Comeback Vinyl with assistant manager Sean.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for listening, and I'm excited to be on.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about what your role is here and what you do.
Oh, yeah. Assistant managing the store, it's really, it's running the floor. It's keeping everyone on task. It's, answering emails, answering questions from the customers. It's a wide range of duties concerned with, managing the store. But it's a lot of fun. It's really rewarding. It gets a lot of really good folks both behind and on the other side of the counter, and it's a really rewarding role.
Awesome.
Especially working for a company like Comeback. It's great. It's a lot of trading interest and things like that. We get folks that I've made really good friends here because they'll be like, hey, Sean, it's if you like this artist, you should listen to this. And we'll trade favorite artists. There are a lot of guys here that a lot of my closest friends I've made through the job. They're all into Fish. I don't know if you've experienced, yeah. And that's gone from guilty pleasure to just being full Fish fan, whatever. But there are guys that will come in, we'll talk about the show or the tour that's going on, and we'll go to a show together, and that's been really rewarding. Or you got other really nice folks that are saying oh, you're trying to here's some classical music I could recommend you or stuff like that. It's just all about kind of seeing where people are at if we see them regularly, and musically, and recommending and trading recommendations. It's really nice, and it's really rewarding just as you see these favorite people come through. We get this one guy who comes in nearly every day just to kind of check and maybe pick up one new record every other day or so. We always talk about baseball and stuff like that, but he's really kind. He knows everyone here. We all know him, and it's really sweet.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. What a nice little...
You feel part of the community.
Yeah, nice little community.
Yeah.
So when did Comeback Vinyl open?
We opened in May of 2015.
Okay.
The owners of the business started basically selling used vinyl in an antique store up and coming called the Green Bean Exchange, which is still open and operating as far as I know.
That's so cute.
But yeah, we started selling used records, buying used records and just reselling them. And then we grew the business enough to where we opened up another location a little further down. We're on South Main Street now. And if you go down a little bit more, We were in like a small strip mall. I think there's a locksmith there now. But we were there, I want to say that was like May 2015. And we were there up until, I want to say 2017. Yes. Yeah, we were up in there until 2017, where we moved to this location now, which is our hub, our brick and mortar location. And I started shopping with the company shortly after we opened, I think 2015, 2016. And I was a fan, and I would bug Alex and Karen, who were the owners, who were like the only employees at the time. Just like, hey, you guys getting this in? Or hey, it's like I'm excited for Record Store Day. Or I worked at Starbucks at the time, so I'd offer like to bring them coffee or whatever for RSD. Like, guys, I'm so excited. Can I bring you coffee or anything? They never drank coffee, so they turned me down there. But I bugged them to the point of where they were hiring, and I was like, I think it was like 2019. We were hiring, and I put in an application, and I guess I impressed them enough with my dorkiness and bothering them enough that I was able to get the job here.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they remembered you.
Yeah, I might have made myself a little memorable.
Hey, that helped, and now you're here.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
So I saw on your Instagram, or the Comeback Vinyl Instagram, that said something about modernizing the record store concept.
Absolutely.
So can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So modernizing the record store concept to us means we want, above all, to specialize in new vinyl and sell it online to allow record collectors, both new and old alike, the chance to like easily shop for the records that they're looking for through collections, through easy organization online, through fast service, great customer service, fast shipping as well. So comebackvinyl.com is like, we want it to be the place for buying your new vinyl. And we're really excited too, because I don't know if you had a chance to check out the site, but if for anyone listening, if like just go and like search your favorite artists, see what we've got. We've got a system in place that like say, hey, oh no, they're out of Phoebe Bridgers' first album, but I want to know when they come get it back in. We have an in-stock alert system, so the moment we check it in, we'll let you know that it's available, and you can buy it right from the site.
Oh wow, that's really nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. And we're all very excited about the site, about the look, just how it works, and it's fantastic. We've been working very hard at it for several years now. But also in our brick and mortar, we want it to mean that we have a clean, organized store. We want it to be a place where you can like go in, clearly see the genres that we have, the artists that are available. We have just like a place that like you can walk in, you're not, walking over records, you're not digging through bins that are like way too stuffed. We want it to be a place where you can just kind of like easily peruse. You can go in, feel comfortable to talk to the staff, to crew, and just ask questions and like discover new music, but also you'll be able to find what you're looking for real easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say you guys have definitely accomplished what you were just talking about.
We certainly
For sure.
try. Yeah.
It is very nice and organized. I really appreciate that about
Oh, yeah.
this place. That is nice. So you talked a little bit about what you did before. You said you worked at Starbucks. Was that pretty much all you did before? Or
yeah, pretty much. A couple retail jobs here and there, but Starbucks took up most of my 20s.
Yeah, and then was this something that you knew you wanted to do, or you just kind of discovered it through, like, how did you get to this point?
I think it was both, like, it's a variety of factors. I've been collecting records since I was about 19 years old. I remember, back in 2010, it was like right when like the bubblings of vinyl were first like being made, of like, oh, it's coming back. And if you're 19, 18 and you're on Tumblr or whatever, and your friends are like, I'm getting this new record. It's like, well, I got to get one too. So you buy like a $70, combo record player, and then you buy that record, like one of your favorites, and that just kind of started it for me. So it was like a decade or so of just kind of like getting a new system, getting new records, and just kind of like upgrading. And finally, when I found that there was a store in my area, because I've grown up in North Fulton, that like sold what I wanted. And the first time I ever went to Comeback Vinyl, I found two records I've never found anywhere else. They were Mitski's Puberty 2 and Deaf Heaven's New Bermuda, 2 records I absolutely adore.
That's a good sign.
And I found them and I was like, this is fantastic. This is going to be my store. And so I guess it was just like continuously shopping here to the point of just like, I kind of bonded with the staff. Like we had, you met Luke, who like one day I came in and he was playing a Power Trip record, which we can't do now. We don't do that anymore. We don't play, thrash metal. So we don't scare customers away. But that particular day I came in, Luke was playing Power Trip, and I love Power Trip. We both did. We bonded over that. So it just kind of, it just fell into place. And then I came on full time, 2020, end of 2020, end of 2020. And it's been fantastic ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you happen to remember the first album you bought?
Oh yeah, it was the Antlers Hospice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if anyone else, have you ever listened to it?
I haven't.
It's a bummer. It's super sad. It's a concept record. It's like indie pop, kind of bedroom pop, but it tells the story of an abusive relationship through the lens of a hospice nurse and his patient.
Oh, wow.
It's fascinating. It's heartbreaking, but when you're 18, 19 years old, it's like, this is deep. This is I love this.
Yeah.
That
sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
I've never heard of something like that.
It's it's really nice. If you're into kind of like Bon Iver, kind of soft vocals, but also like kind of like brash. Like I think you bought Spoon.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as like rocky and catchy as Spoon, but it's I don't know. It's worth a shot.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
Set aside some time. Make sure you're not going out and about for the rest of the day after you listen to it. It's a day ender, but it's really beautiful.
Wow. Okay, I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah.
I love getting new recommendations, expanding my horizons. There's always something more to listen to.
I'm sure, and it's along with I'm sure every other record store you've been to. We are happy to give recommendations. We are happy to like talk music all day.
How do you go about giving recommendations?
I guess I kind of play a human Spotify. If I see someone picking up records that even if I'm like vaguely familiar with, and I have like an idea of the style, and they're like if someone asks. Then I'm happy to give a recommendation.
Yeah.
But if someone's like coming in, they know what they want, they've got it, or it's a genre that I'm not particularly familiar with, I'll just kind of like let it be. Like, all right, cool, you got your thing. But like for instance, this we had a customer in last week who picked up like a King Gizzard record, a Ty Segall record, and I forgot who else. But it was another like psych rock band. And he's like, all right, man, I need one more. Show me what I should get. And I was like, okay, you don't know about the OCs yet, but you're going to love them. So I picked him up an OCs record because they're like, if you want garage psych rock, this is what you want.
Nice.
But yeah, it's like giving recommendations, that sort of thing. It comes with time, certainly. It comes with like building knowledge of, one, our selection, and two, like seeing what people buy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always great, especially when like it kind of works out where it's like someone's like, oh yeah, this sounds pretty good. And if it doesn't work out, we've got the return policy, which I always say, it's like, if you hate it, you take it home, you spin it, you hate it, you can bring it back 100 days, no worries.
But how often does that actually happen?
Not that often, luckily.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually kind of nice. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine. I have never put on a record and thought, oh, this is awful, I need to bring it back. Like, I can't even imagine thinking that.
Some people do it.
Yeah.
But fortunately, our crew members are all pretty knowledgeable, or really knowledgeable when it comes to music. So like we try not to steer people wrong.
Yeah. I do have some strange ones in my collection though, like from mystery packs or whatever.
The mystery bags, yeah.
Yeah, those are fun, but always, you never know. You never know what you can get.
I am not adventurous enough to get one of those. I have to know like what I'm getting. I have to be very particular. I can't. Like I understand the mentality behind it. It's like it's super fun. I get it, but like I have to know. I can't.
Oh yeah, you either love it or hate it.
Exactly.
I think it's fun, and usually it works out well. But I mean, I did get one that was like heart murmurs, which was very strange. It was just like boom, 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 boom.
They made records out of it.
Why did they give this to me?
Yeah. That is wild.
I was like, why did they give this to me? No wonder it was in the mystery pack.
Yeah.
So, do you buy mostly used or mostly new, or a mix?
Personally, me, I buy mostly new.
Okay. Cool.
I've gone through like when we did buy used records. I'd like pick and choose if I see something interesting. Like there was a phase when I got real into Neil Young and the Police, and one of my favorite bands is REM. Whenever we would get like used REM, and I would always try to find like early pressings of their records. But when it comes to like, since I'm working here and like I have a handle of everything that's in, I find myself mostly like ordering albums that I'm just like getting into, or albums that are about to come out, of just like, you know, like stuff I'm looking forward to or stuff I'm really getting into.
Nice.
But yeah, I think from the top I was always like a new vinyl buyer, and I have some used here and there, but mostly new.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, okay, since you're an REM fan, I have to ask. So, have you been out to Athens to see all like?
Yeah.
Oh
I took my my now fiance, when we first started dating, she lived in Athens.
Oh, nice.
And I just started dragging her around, because I didn't live in Athens. I didn't go to UGA or anything like that. But like when I had the chance to visit her so often, I was like, cool, the Merber Trestle's right over here. All right, we got to go. I think
it's gone, sadly.
They did
ripped it down.
Awful.
I know.
I forget the restaurateur's name. Was it like, it wasn't Willie B?
Oh, it's the Automatic for the People.
Yes. Like passing that spot.
It's Weaver D's.
Yeah.
That's what
passing
it's
that was just fantastic.
Yeah.
And like going into Wuxtry and
the bright green building that is Weaver D's.
So yeah, that was my dad went to UGA and he got real into REM. That's where I get it from.
Oh,
so like
wow.
going to those locations and like being there, I was like, this is absolutely out.
Yeah. I was a tour guide when I lived in Athens, and I added some music history onto
You
the
have
tour.
to. You
I was like, I can't believe there's not any.
There's so much that
I know.
came out there, and like the 40 Watts, a legendary venue.
Oh, I love the 40 Watt.
I've only been once. I saw the reason. Fun fact: I might be getting too personal for the podcast, but I met my fiance because I went out to see Mitski at the 40 Watt in 2016.
That's such a great meeting story.
And it was just seeing her there before, you know, she blew up, and like Be the Cowboy and all like her new like arena style shows, and just seeing her in a very intimate setting at 40 Watt was magical. It was fantastic.
I bet.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I bet. You know where the steeple is?
No, I don't.
So do you know what the steeple is? Where they first performed ever as a band?
Yes,
that place.
Yeah.
I lived in the apartments that are like right in the parking lot. And so I could see the steeple from my window, and I lived there for 4 years.
How cool.
I had a dream. Well, I dreamt that this would happen someday.
Yeah.
I would wake up to REM playing like at the steeple.
They are what I call one of my genie bands. Like if you ever met a genie and they're like, okay, you can have one band, you know, living or dead, active or inactive, you can see them live. Who would it be? Without any hesitation, REM. Because they broke up when I was like 18 years old, and I never got a chance to see them. And so, you know, I know they're all doing well, they're all doing their own thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, I would love to see them live.
I know, me too. I would love to see them in front of the steeple.
Yeah, they did like a homecoming show.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Did you ever have a chance to get out to the Caledonia Lounge?
No, I never did.
Okay,
no.
That is closed now, and it's now a bar, but that's where they performed for the first time as REM. Like when they were at the steeple, they hadn't decided on a name yet.
Right.
They were just kind of performing like a little show. Yeah, to kind of get started. But
Amazing.
the first one as REM was at what was the Caledonia Lounge. It was called something else though when they performed it. But that was my favorite music venue. So tiny.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's smaller than this store.
Yeah.
It was so small, but it was, man, we saw so many good local bands there.
Magical.
But anyways, so back to Comeback Vinyl. So I saw on your guys' website and here in the store, you guys sell audiophile pressings.
Yes.
So what exactly is an audiophile pressing, and what makes it different from like a normal pressing?
An audiophile pressing, as you might imagine, we answer this question often, is basically, it's often a record pressed from the original analog master tapes. So there's no, there's sometimes a digital step involved here and there, but for most of the labels that we stock, they press from the original analog recordings to like a 180 gram vinyl to preserve as much audio quality as possible. You'll find these done in really small batches, so there's no like thousands of reprints and for the lathe to get like worn out. You'll even find some records over there that are called one steps. which means that the mother lacquer basically prints the record and then they replace the lacquer.
Wow.
Like it's like they press it once and there's nothing else, just to preserve as much audio quality as possible. We have a lot of dedicated customers for our audiophile editions. They're super collectible, especially if you're into jazz, old rock. There's some soul. There is not really, you don't find a lot of punk, you don't find a lot of metal, you don't find a lot of hip hop yet. There's some classical over there as well. That's where most of our classical is found, is in the audiophile. But yeah, it is our owner is a huge fan of like Blue Note's Tone Poet series, Analog Productions, Speaker's Corner. I have a couple like classical records from Speaker's Corner. They sound fantastic. But yeah, if you're into like, if you have like a pretty solid system, like these things aren't really going to sound as they're meant to on, you know, an all-in-one record player. But if you have like a pretty solid record player or like stereo setup, highly recommend getting the audiophile stuff, especially if you're trying to get into jazz or you really want just like the best sound possible out of your record. Audiophile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people probably do not know what it is, so I figured
it gets intimidating.
Yeah.
It's like, even like myself, I said I have like some classical records, but as far as like the jazz goes or like the rock reissues, I'm making such a ceremony out of it. It's like I have to get the right first one.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I'm at like a stalemate with a lot of those. But I know for a fact we play them in stores sometimes, and I know that, you know, like a lot of our, you know, crew members here collect them, and they say they sound fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Someday I will try them.
Yeah. I'm hoping, you know, like 30 years from now, when a lot of my favorite bands start putting out audiophile editions, then it's over. Then it's done for.
Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, that would be awesome. Just gotta wait though.
Yeah, we gotta wait.
So, in your opinion, why do you think vinyl is making such a big comeback?
Love this question. I see it as a response to the streaming era. I see folks kind of the ability to have every song you can possibly think of at your fingertips within seconds is great. I totally get it. I love to have it, you know, Spotify and Apple Music, they're super convenient. But when you have them in your pocket, you don't really, there's no interacting, there's no participatory factor to it. I think we all kind of crave a sort of physical medium to interact with, especially with something that we love. If it's something that we can cherish, something that we can collect, I think it's having a material thing means a lot more than having just files in your pocket. Again, I say that as an Apple Music subscriber. I say that as a record collector. Just like there are many different forms, but I think having something in, like, to collect something, to have it, to cherish it, and to like really like the act of putting a record on, really like purposefully listening to it, even if it's just like having on as background music, there's still like a purpose. There's still like a participation of like audience and like artist. And to go and like flip it is like still participating in that. And I think that's, you know, despite the digital age streaming era, I think we still kind of crave that as a culture.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
So what is a recent album that you've stumbled upon and really, maybe it surprised you?
Let me hold on. I'm gonna have to go through
That's fine. Take your
history
time.
here. I will say, after years of hearing about the band Sparks, like there's that Edgar Wright documentary that came out recently, and I was like, oh, you know, they're marketed as like your favorite band's favorite band. It's like, I don't know where to start. They have such a catalog, whatever. They actually, I don't know if you watch Yellow Jackets, but one of their songs was featured in a recent episode of Yellow Jackets, and I was like, oh, this sounds great. This sounds like the Killers and Devo put together. What is this? And I see it's Sparks. I'm like, all right, cool. So the album's called Angst in My Pants by Sparks, and I think it was released in the early 80s. Super fun, really catchy. But also I've been getting into a lot of like Japanese city pop and stuff like that. And I think, what is it called? Timely by an artist called Henri. Really fun, really just like sunny pop music. It slaps.
Ooh.
Great stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is your method for discovering new music? Like, how do you go about it?
I think like through playlists.
Yeah.
Kind of like, Apple Music has a great like playlist system, Spotify as well. Or I'll just go off of like recommendations from customers. But I can find myself in ruts, just like, no, it's like, thanks for the recommendation, but I'd rather listen to this right now. But I'll like hold on to stuff, and like if I hear it out in the wild, I'll check it out. But yeah, a lot of like playlists.
Yeah,
Mostly
I'd say same for me.
Playlist, yeah.
Yeah, just kind of hit and shuffle and then seeing what comes up.
Yeah. We'll get customers as well who, like, if the title is like really popular, or someone like brings something up to the counter, like, oh, this is interesting, I've been meaning to check this out. And if they sell it real well, I'm on it. I have a whole like Spotify playlist of stuff recommended by customers that I like to like go to.
Oh, that's really cool. Have you decided what your most cherished records are yet?
My like 5 of all time?
Yeah, did you think about it? You figured it out?
This was
I would love to hear.
Extremely difficult, Paige.
I'm sure.
I've been prepping for it all day, and because it's like it's such a fluid thing. I think if like you might have different experience doing this because you ask more people than I do, but I feel like it's like really depends on the day.
That's what they all say.
Yep.
But I agree. Same for me, I'd say.
Yeah, exactly. Like today, like my all-time favorite band is Radiohead. I remember when I was being interviewed, our general manager, Corinna, she had a question of like, if you could wear one word or one image on a t-shirt for a month, what would it be? And I said, it'd be Radiohead. I love the band so much, but I came on and whatever. And folks will come in and like, they'll ask, okay, what's your favorite Radiohead album? And it's like, it really depends on the day. And today it's OK Computer. That was the immediate like, okay, obviously OK Computer number 1. It's a rock masterpiece. I don't know if I consider it to be the band's best album. I don't even think I think Kid A is probably one of the greatest albums of all time, but OK Computer is my personal favorite.
Gotcha.
Following that, there is an artist or a band called Godspeed You Black Emperor. I don't know if you've ever listened to them. They're a post-rock band out of somewhere in Quebec. But they play these masterful, like, instrumental pieces. They're long, they're varied, they're beautiful. They have an album called Lift Your Skinny Fists, like Antennas to Heaven. I discovered it when I was 19 years old, and it changed my life. It's fantastic. It's a really, really beautiful record.
One of those, a life changer.
Oh yeah. I mean, these are all. I had to pick like, okay, what really like cemented like a part of myself. Then we talked about REM. I have to pick REM. They're near and dear to my heart. Picking my favorite REM album is very difficult. I would say my favorite REM album is Life's Rich Pageant, which I know is controversial, maybe, but Life's Rich Pageant is my favorite REM record. Meanwhile, what I'm gonna say is Out of Time is probably the most like Sean record. It was, came out I think a couple months before I was born, and I've kind of latched onto it throughout my life, and it's really special to me. And of course, Losing My Religion, Near Wild Heaven. What is it? Oh, Country Feedback. Amazing. Beautiful songs. Okay. I got 2 more. I'll try to keep it short. I'm also, along with being the Radiohead guy here, I am the King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard guy.
Ooh, okay.
I love them very much. I have all of their studio albums. I'm obsessive about them. I will, if I see someone go to their section in the store, I will spark up a conversation because Giz heads are always like, there's a community. I've formed like a small Giz army through the store.
I actually almost picked one up today.
Which one?
I wasn't sure which one I wanted, so I kind of put it back.
Yeah. I know there's a lot. It's extremely varied, but that's a band that like, if someone comes in like, I don't know where to start, I can immediately say,
what is a good place to start with them?
I'm glad you asked. It's the album I've chosen. It's Nonagon Infinity.
Okay.
It's their 2016 record. I want to say it was their 7th or 9th record, one of those. It's a masterpiece. It got me immediately hooked on the band. It's the conceit of it is that it's 9 tracks, all of which seamlessly bleed into the other, and with the last track also bleeding into the first. Ooh. So you could theoretically, if you're streaming it, run the album forever, and it will just sound like one continuous track.
Oh, That's really cool.
It's incredible. It's super energetic. It presents what's known as the Gizverse because there's like some mythology behind some of the songs. It's super fun, super energetic. It's fantastic. Again, that's not my favorite Giz album. My favorite that would probably be Polygon to Wonderland. But I always recommend start with Nonagon, see how you feel. It's like 47 minutes long. Just give it a shot. And if you're into that, whichever way you're feeling, I can guide you. Or I'm sure there are so many communities online that can say, okay, if you like this part, go here. If you like this part, go here. But yeah. And finally, what was it? Oh, can't even remember it. Finally, okay. So I don't really look like it, but in my early 20s and even now, I'm somewhat of a metalhead. And it kind of depends who you ask if I like the right kind of metal. But back in 2013, one of my now favorite artists of all, one of my favorite bands, released their critical landmark album. It's Sunbather by Death Heaven. If you haven't listened to Death Heaven, they're kind of a shoegazy black metal band, like Black Gaze. Their chords are really shimmery. The lyrics are devastating. It's a gorgeous record. It's super loud. The artwork is bright pink and very just like stylized. But I think they are one of the most interesting bands to be in the metal scene and sort of like the new wave. They kind of exist on like the cusp of so many different genres. But the lyricist and songwriter George Clark, I think, is brilliant. I love the way he writes lyrics. But yeah, that's an album that like early 20s Sean heard and was like, okay, this is gonna be everything for me right now. This is like it set me on a path of like even listening to like even more different like subgenres of metal and black metal and yeah, it's fantastic. I tried Paige. I was like, I have to pick one album that was recorded before I was born. I have to have some kind of variety. And I count Out of Time as that, but it was very difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's going to be my top 5 if you had to
nice.
like.
Well, thank you for really truly thinking about it. I know it's a difficult question.
Oh yeah.
And everybody's always like, no, whenever I try to ask. But I'm curious. I mainly just want recommendations.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
No pressure. I know it changes every day.
Yeah, it does.
But I guess it feels like a lot of pressure, the question.
Yeah, especially on the spot. I'm glad I prepared for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I give a little. I don't want to. I think I did put somebody on the spot one time, and I never did it again.
Yeah,
I knew I did it wrong.
You sat there for even longer than I just went on. Yeah, that was with preparation.
This is a random question that just popped into my head, but what is your opinion on like colored vinyl and picture disc?
Oh, sure. When it comes to colored vinyl, I'm not like a variant hound. I'm not like the kind of person that will be like, I've got to get every color of every of this single record. Mm-hmm. But it used to be pretty widely known that like black vinyl was the way to go. Colored records, like colored vinyl, is a subpar product. It's not going to sound as good. And for what we've like seen, that's kind of changed. Like black vinyl obviously is you're going to get the best product. It's going to sound the best just because of like what the material is made from.
Oh yeah. No audiophile pressing will be on colored vinyl.
Precisely. But a lot of like the colored vinyl that they use the quality has improved. So you'll find even like colored splattered records, they still hold up quality wise. Picture discs, on the other hand, are famous. It's picture disc and glow in the dark records. The way that they are pressed, the way that the plastic is manufactured is going to degrade over time very quickly. Because picture discs are not just like black record picture posted on top. Do you know how they're made?
I actually don't.
It's basically what they do is they print the picture onto just like the plastic disc, this 12-inch disc. And then on top of that, they put a clear plastic layer where the grooves are located. Oh, yeah. And so that clear plastic layer, that degrades over time. Like I just recently picked up this was for my fiance and myself because we get the like picture disc Disney soundtracks in sometimes. And I was like, what Disney soundtrack would I get? And we got it. And almost immediately after I asked that question, it's Lilo and Stitch. It's a classic. So I picked up that picture disc. And not to, I realize, we're trying to sell records here. But you're going to notice some static. you get static, you get some noise. It still sounds great, still super fun to listen to, you know, Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride and Elvis and all those songs, but you do hear some clicks and pops with the picture disc. But as far as like, I like it for the novelty, it's nice.
Yeah, it is more for the novelty.
Exactly, of like seeing it on like a table, like, oh, how neat. And like kids, really, like that's why they put it on like Disney records and things like that. It's marketed towards like younger like collectors, which is great. But yeah, if like black vinyl and colored vinyl, I'm perfectly fine with. And if there's an indie exclusive variant, I'll still go for that.
Yeah. I know the black vinyl does typically sound better, but the colored vinyl is just so pretty.
It's
sometimes.
so pretty. We've got an associate here who really loves, like, he'll go crazy over the right kind of colored vinyl, and it's like, I get it, man. I'm with you. But I will say, interestingly enough, the Analog Productions UHQR editions, they are audiophile pressing similar to that one step I was talking about earlier. They are pressed on clear vinyl, and they're still like top tier quality records. So not to put down everything that's not black vinyl, especially when you consider black is a dye added to the polyvinyl carbonate. Like, it starts off, as far as I understand, clear, and then they add colors to make it that way you can see if there's damage or that sort of thing. Especially when you specialize in new vinyl, you're going to be seeing colored vinyl indie variants all of the time. So it helps out when people are asking about it to have some knowledge on it. Yeah.
I actually just switched the what's it called, the slip mat?
The slip mat.
Yeah. So I actually just switched that out. I had a black one and I switched to white. And the colored vinyl is so much more beautiful with a white backdrop. Yeah. It's like, I was like, oh my God, I've been doing this wrong for so long.
We'll have to take note of that. We make two different kinds of slip mats, but we haven't made white yet. So
white, it really, like, the color really pops with the white.
Good to know.
It is so nice. Good to know. I think I saw a video where somebody was like comparing them, and I was like, I instantly bought it. I instantly bought one. I had to. Okay. What is the wildest thing you've ever seen at a concert?
Oh, God. Paige, I've been to like 4 Bonnaroos.
Oh, my goodness.
Was it? No, it was just 3.
I bet you saw some crazy things.
I saw a lot of crazy stuff that I don't feel. This seems like to be a family show that I'm gonna try to keep it. Okay, this is partially crazy, but also extremely cute. I saw. Do you listen to Haim?
Not really.
A little bit. They're very fun. But I saw Haim at Bonnaroo 2013. I want to say it was right before their like big breakout. I think debut album came out. They're super fun.
Oh wow.
They're really cool. But at the show, there was a little kid on I think his dad's shoulders. He had those big earmuffs on that you see kids at concerts wear. Yeah. But he was just like, SD, who's the bassist, one of the sisters of the band's like, SD, you're my favorite. And they like brought the kid up on stage, and like I think they just like kind of held him and like they partied with him up there during the show, and that was really sweet.
Oh my gosh, that is so sweet.
I haven't been to a show in a while, but I'm looking forward to getting back out there.
Yeah. What do you think the next show you would see?
It is going to be Fish.
Nice.
They're coming to Alpharetta in July. And they usually do like those, it's what Taylor's doing this weekend, where they do 3 nights in the single place. And I don't know what she's doing, but like Fish is known for like, they never repeat set lists. And I've only seen them offhand, like I've only seen them twice. And so I haven't done the full weekend run before. And so I'm looking forward to doing that this year.
That would be so fun.
It's going to be a time. I'm bringing friends who don't really listen to them.
Open their eyes.
Exactly. It's like, that's what I say. I get made fun of it so much here, Paige. But just like, you just got to see them live. You just got to experience it live. You got to see what it's all about, then you'll get it.
Yeah.
But, that's it.
Any shows like stand out as being amazing or super memorable, your favorite?
I will say, I didn't even talk about them. I should have. But one of my all-time favorite bands is Manchester Orchestra. Local band, came out of Alpharetta, super well known in Georgia. I've seen them, I want to say 7 or 9 times. Every show they put on is like a religious experience. It feels like it's like you're at church, and like it's just fantastic. If you ever have the chance to see them live, whether it's at a festival or going to see one of their live shows, they put so much passion and heart into it. Yeah, I think I saw them.
I didn't realize they were from Alpharetta.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Actually, I interviewed them years ago at their studio. That was really cool. But yeah, I've seen them so many times. I saw them in 2011 at the Tabernacle for the second time, I want to say.
I like that venue.
It's beautiful. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, I remember the entire time just having full body chills and just like raising my hands and just really losing myself in the music. Like I said, religious experience. And I saw them again at Shaky Knees, I want to say 2018. Yes. And they played a lot of songs, like one of my favorite recent release from them is their album from 2017 called A Black Mile to the Surface, which probably would have been number 6 or 7 if we got that deep into the albums. But they played my favorite song from that album at Shaky Knees as it began to start raining, and it fit so well, and no one could tell if it was rain or tears streaming down my face, but it was a incredible experience. Cannot recommend them enough. Also, Giz is fantastic live. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I bet. I want to see them.
Their tickets are getting harder and harder to obtain. But
I bet.
Yeah, I bet. The next time they're in Atlanta, Paige, we'll see each other there. It'll be a blast.
Awesome. I'll meet you there. I know Luke kind of put me onto some local bands, but do you have any local bands you want to shout out or like bring people's attention to?
Honestly, they're a little. Luke kind of recommended some like really like kind of like easygoing, nice rock bands. My current favorite band that is from the area, I actually got into because the frontman shops here, and he and I became quick friends because we're both massive. Like our taste in music is nearly 1-to-1, say for artists here and there. But it's the band called the Callous Dowboys. They're a post like. I'm sorry, Carson, if you're listening to this. They're a like post-hardcore math new metal band. They're all over the place. They released an album last year called Celebrity Therapist, which is just so much fun, and it whips. It is fantastic. I think we might have sold out of our copies, but like the fact that people could come in and see Callous Dowboys, it took some effort. It took like I really had to like pitch like we gotta stock them because people are gonna be looking for them, and not only that, they shop here. But once we finally got in like Celebrity Therapist, we've had their previous album Die on Mars, but they are a super fun band.
Awesome, I'll check them out.
They are rising in the alternative metal scene, and I'm super psyched for them. They're on to bigger, and they're on to great things, and
wow,
highly recommend.
Well, I think I'm gonna wrap it up with the last question. Unless there's anything else you wanted to add.
Comebackvinyl.com. Just
check it out.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not to lose sight. Our website is state of the art, and we are super happy with it. And it's super worth checking out. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we get folks still calling us asking if we have it in stock, and it's like that's totally fine. We're here. We're happy to help. But like we always tell folks, like, hey, if you're ever looking for anything, check the site. It's all of it's live, all of it's accurate to what we have in store. Mm-hmm. And if you're worried that you're going to miss out on a release, just buy it on this website, come pick it up in store, or we'll ship it to you. It's great.
All right, so what would you like people coming into the store for the first time to know? All
right, so above all, you should expect easy organization. You should be able to find exactly what you're looking for super easily. Our organization is extremely intuitive. We have tabs for a lot of artists, and if not, they are likely in store. And of course, second thing I will say, don't be afraid to ask questions. If you can't find the person you're looking for, you can't find the artist of the band you're looking for, please come and ask us. We are here to help. We are happy to chat. We are happy to talk. Third thing I will say, if you're, not quite in the metro Atlanta area and you're not ready, or you're not nearby the shop, you're not near Alpharetta, shop on our website. You can find everything we have new on our site. You can buy it there, come pick it up in store, and that's when, if you want to discover, if you want recommendations, you want to come chat with us, then's your chance. But if you want to reserve yourself like that one record you've been really looking for, buy it on our site. Comebackvinyl.com. Gotta make sure I plug that.
Sweet. Thank you for taking the time.
Absolutely, Paige. Delighted to.